a little girl that's standing right there. Right at the top of the stairs. Hello? Hello? Look. Hello? Can you speak to me? Sallie? Is that your name, Sallie? Sallie? Okay.
Nestled in the quiet town of Atchison, Kansas, the Sallie House sits unassuming and small, its white exterior a stark contrast to the dark tales that have enveloped it for decades. What might have otherwise been a forgotten piece of Midwestern architecture has become one of the most infamous haunted locations in America. Stories of strange happenings, violent attacks, and malevolent presences have drawn curious visitors and paranormal enthusiasts alike. But the heart of the story lies with Tony and Debra Pickman, whose harrowing experiences in the early 1990s turned the house into a living nightmare. In 1993, Tony and Debra Pickman were a young couple looking forward to their future. They had recently moved into the Sallie House, a modest home that seemed perfect for their growing family. Debra was pregnant with their first child, and the couple was eager to settle into the cozy space. The house, located at 508 North 2nd Street, seemed ideal for their needs. 3 bedrooms, a spacious yard, and a quiet neighborhood. Their excitement was palpable as they began to decorate the nursery, preparing for the arrival of their baby boy. Life was good and the couple felt blessed. However, the tranquility of their new home was short-lived. Strange occurrences began innocently enough. Lights flickered, appliances turned on and off by themselves, and cold spots appeared in random areas of the house. At first, the couple chalked it up to faulty wiring or drafts common in older homes, but the activity soon escalated. One evening, Debra noticed that the stuffed animals in the nursery were arranged differently than she had left them. She brushed it off, assuming Tony had moved them. But when Tony denied touching the toys, a chill ran down her spine. The events became harder to dismiss. Knocking sounds echoed through the house at all hours of the day and night. Items vanished, only to reappear in odd places. The couple began to feel an oppressive presence, as if they were being watched. It wasn't long before Debra began to sense that something, or someone, was trying to communicate with them. During one particularly unsettling night, she awoke to the sound of a child crying. Rushing to the nursery, she found it empty, the crib untouched. The couple sought answers, turning to their landlord and local historians. They learned that the house had a long history of strange occurrences, dating back decades. A medium was called in, and during a seance, she revealed the presence of a young girl named Sallie. According to the medium, Sallie was a spirit of a girl who had died in the house years earlier due to a botched appendectomy. She was said to be playful but mischievous, her energy lingering in the home. At first, the Pickmans were relieved. A child's spirit didn't seem threatening, but Sallie's demeanor soon changed. Tony became the primary target of the house's wrath. Scratches appeared on his body, seemingly out of nowhere. They would burn and sting as if inflicted in real time. Once, as Tony walked past the nursery, he felt an invisible force push him, nearly toppling him to the floor. Debra witnessed these events with growing horror. She watched as Tony's demeanor changed. He became irritable and withdrawn, often complaining of intense headaches and an overwhelming sense of dread. The attacks escalated to the point where Tony was physically assaulted. During one terrifying night, Debra awoke to find him gasping for air, claw marks running down his back. The couple began to suspect that whatever was haunting their home was not the spirit of a little girl. Sallie might have been a mask for something far more sinister. Paranormal investigators were called in, and their findings only confirmed the couple's fears. The team captured chilling evidence, EVP's electronic voice phenomena of growling, shadow figures darting through the house, and unexplained temperature drops. One investigator claimed to feel as if something had wrapped icy hands around his throat. The activity grew so violent that the couple considered leaving. But financial constraints and the impending arrival of their baby made moving impossible. Debra's maternal instincts kicked into overdrive as she feared for her unborn child. She avoided the nursery as much as possible, convinced that the entity harbored malicious intent. One day as she stood in the kitchen, she felt a sharp pain in her abdomen, as if something had struck her. She rushed to the doctor, terrified that the entity was targeting her baby. Thankfully, the baby was unharmed, but the incident solidified Debra's belief that they were dealing with a malevolent force. By the time their son was born, the Pickmans were at their breaking point. The constant terror and physical assaults had taken a toll on their mental and emotional health. After a particularly violent encounter, they packed their belongings and left the house for good.
The hand across his back on 3 separate occasions that left, I think it was 11 scratches right across the center upper portion of his back, his shoulder area.
Even after leaving, the couple reported feeling as though they were being followed. Tony continued to experience nightmares and unexplained scratches, while Debra struggled with anxiety and depression. The Sallie House has remained a focal point for paranormal investigations. Numerous teams have documented strange occurrences, from objects moving on their own to disembodied voices. Some visitors claim to have been scratched or shoved, while others report seeing apparitions of a young girl and darker, shadowy figures. Tony and Debra Pickman have since shared their story in documentaries and interviews.
One day in particular, I down at the end of the bed, I start seeing a fog, kind of what looked like dust particles in the window, but it started getting dark and taking shape, and it took shape of a elderly woman, probably in her 60s. Did not look happy, and she floated over to my side of the bed, and I say floated because I didn't see legs, and she just kind of moved real slowly over. When she got to me, she just all at once reached out like she was gonna grab me and shouted the words, "I'm gonna." And as soon as she did that, the room went haywire. I had a tall boy dresser that lifted up probably a good 2 inches, completely spun around and set back down. The dresser drawers on each side of the bed opened and slammed shut. The closet or the door to the bedroom slammed shut.
They believe that whatever haunts the Sallie House is not merely a lost soul, but something far more sinister. Over the years, skeptics have questioned the validity of the Pickmans' claims. Some suggest that the events were exaggerated or the result of psychological stress. Others point to the house's history, noting that there is no record of a girl named Sallie dying in the home. Despite the skepticism, the sheer number of accounts from visitors and investigators lends credibility to the haunting. Whether the house is truly cursed or the site of an overactive imagination, it continues to draw attention from around the world. Today, the Sallie House stands as a chilling reminder of the unknown. It remains one of the most famous haunted houses in America, attracting thrill seekers and paranormal enthusiasts. For those who dare to enter, the house offers a glimpse into the terrifying and unexplainable. For the Pickmans, their time in the Sallie House was a life-altering experience, one that left lasting scars, both physical and emotional. Their story serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that sometimes it's best to leave the past undisturbed. The Sallie House isn't just a story, it's a chilling reality that continues to haunt all who encounter it.